When we were in Russia, I want to talk about the world within us. When we were in Russia, we've been going for a number of years, and not just myself, but many of our teams have been to Russia. Tom was there 2 years ago and got sick on the way home. Poor Tom. And we've been teaching them lots of different ministry. And when the question and answer time came around, it was really interesting. I found myself thinking through the things we do that we don't think about. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like it comes so naturally. Like we live in a culture, but we don't actually think about what we do to create the culture. We just live in it. And so we've been teaching them things like sozo ministry and things like prophetic ministry. We've done, I think I've done 4 prophetic conferences there, and we teach them healing ministry. And as they began to ask questions, I started to realize that they have prophetic ministry, but they don't have a prophetic culture. They have a healing ministry, but they don't have a healing culture. And as they're asking questions, it began to stimulate, like for the next 5 days in the questions and answer sessions, and especially in personal conversations with, I'd be at lunch with like 7 or 8 of the pastors, and they would ask these questions like, you taught us this, and we've been doing that, but this is the problem we're having. And I began to realize, like, we taught them ministry, but we didn't teach them culture. And they would say things like, like we have prophetic ministry now, and Dano's been here, and this person, you were there, and da-da-da. And, we have this person get up in church and prophesy while I'm preaching, and I don't know what to do now. Like, now you kind of, like, you ruined our church. Like, now I'm empowered all these people to prophesy, and now they're doing these weird things, and I don't know what to do. And I say, well, if to the level you empower people, you have to confront them. And they go, I confront them, they leave my church. And I'm like, oh no, you to the level you empower them, you must confront them, but you must confront them in honor. And this is what honor looks like in confrontation. It looks like you believe the best about people, and you believe that they're good people and that they had good motives, even though they did the wrong thing. They probably did it for the right reason. And so I'm talking, and one of them goes, well, I think there's the spirit of Jezebel in this woman. And I'm like, okay, well, if you name the person the name of an enemy, you're not going to deal with her as a daughter. You're going to cut her off because you already named her the name of an enemy. And I realized, like, how this happens. Like, you step back after an hour session, you go, I just explained to them an ecosystem we live in that we don't talk about. I'm not saying we never talk about it. I'm saying we don't proactively take people like, okay, prophetic culture looks like this. Because we took our prophetic culture, wherever it started, and we plugged it into a culture we already have, and it already fit into a culture. But they're coming out of communism. Are you with me? And they're very smart people, and they're very diligent people, but you don't know what you don't know. And so they're coming out of communism, and they're taking ministry, and they're plugging it into the way they've learned to lead in communism, and they're trying to come out of communism, and what they need is a completely new ecosystem. And